So for the manometry, this is like the pandemic time, of course, so it was pretty hectic everywhere. I ended up scheduling a manometry test, and I came in. I was the last patient scheduled. I believe it was 11 o'clock. Mind you, I have not eaten. I have not had anything because I can't tolerate anything. I already tried going to the hospital. The hospital stated they could not do nothing. They gave me IV fluids, but they couldn't treat nothing with achalasia because they're not prepped for that. And there was no GI that could do that. And of course, my GI worked with that hospital, but he couldn't do anything because he needed the manometry test to confirm. So I was able to go. I did the manometry test. Mind you guys, you have to sit there. They stick lidocaine up your nose and you swallow. Now, when you have achalasia, you tend to be a gagger, okay? So you're supposed to have like enough, and it tastes disgusting. Mind you, I was already exhausted. I have no energy whatsoever. So she puts that in, you swallow it. She then sticks a catheter into your nose while you're awake because you cannot be sleeping. They put it down and it goes all the way down to the stomach. And then you have to stay still. The first round did not go well. I started just spewing out because there was not enough lidocaine to numb my gag reflex. So she had to pull out, and then she's like, listen, we're not going to do this. And I started bawling. I said, ma'am, you have got to do this. Otherwise, I won't know what's wrong with me. You have to do it. She's like, all right. I said, put it in the same nostril. So she put some more lidocaine in there. She put it in. I closed my eyes. If y'all going to do it, just please close your eyes and concentrate. So I closed my eyes. I kept my mouth open because if you close it, you can feel that hard catheter in the back of your throat, and it's going to make you gag and vomit. So I stayed quiet, and it's about a half an hour long, and you cannot swallow whatsoever. She gives you sips, and you can only have a sip and then swallow one time. You cannot keep swallowing. You cannot burp. So it's extremely like chaotic, and you just like, oh, please help me. So finally I got the test done. She removed the catheter. Everything was good. I went home. I got sick again for 3 days. I could not put anything down. So I saw the surgeon in December of 2019, and he saw how sick I was, and I was like very nauseated. So he was like, listen, we're gonna approve you to get Botox in the esophagus for now, so that at least prior to the surgery, you can at least be able to drink something and eat maybe a little bit of something. So thank goodness I was able to go see my regular GI, but I had to go all the way down. I believe it's Framingham or Fitchburg, one of the two. And I had the Botox in the esophagus, which is all 4 points of the esophageal sphincter, the LES, to loosen it so that I can then go home. And that was on Christmas Eve. I was able to eat a little bit of food. I was able to swallow some liquid. And then I had my surgery, I believe it was January 4th. Which is the Heller Myotomy with the DOR Fundoplication. You get the 5 cuts, and then with the microscope or the laparoscopic, they go in, they cut the esophagus, so that's permanently open. So the reason they have to do the DOR Fundoplication, which is they take your stomach where it's at and they spin it 180 degrees and they sew it into the esophagus, because then that way you don't have acid reflux, because then that will give you Barrett's esophagus and causes cancer and all kinds of things in your esophagus. So I had that done. I stayed in the hospital per protocol for 2 days. They got to make sure you don't perforate, NPO, so nothing by mouth. They did the CT scan, which you got to drink some nasty thing. Ugh. So you drink that. I was cleared. Then that was on a Wednesday. I got home. On Friday, I woke up and my abdomen was hurting, and I said, okay, maybe this is just, gas from when they, did the operation, and I wasn't feeling good. So I took one of my meds, which usually I never take the med. I take half or a quarter, and I took a shower. I said, maybe let me take a shower. And then my husband's like, there's something wrong with her, because I was in fetal position. Normally I'm the first one to run to the hospital, but he was like, let's go right now. So he got me dressed. I remember driving and praying to get to the hospital. We get to the hospital. Of course, it's construction, so I had to walk bellied over, holding my stomach. And the receptionists were there, and they advised me to, if I needed a wheelchair. I said, yes, please. Like, I'm in excruciating pain. So I sat down. They told me to go wait in the waiting room. I said, oh. So thank goodness I had the number to the secretary, I want to say assistant, right-hand person for my surgeon. So I let her know. I said, listen, so-and-so, they got me sitting here in the waiting room, and I've seen people die in waiting rooms. I'm not going to be one of these people. So she's like screaming, like she could not believe it. So all of a sudden, all of a sudden I hear someone call out my name, Rebecca. So I turn over and I see the cavalry. I see like 7 surgeons coming. Stay tuned for part 3.